All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most ambitious financial experiments happening on the planet right now, India's digital rupee. And to really get what's going on, you gotta see the big picture. Think about this. Right now, more than 130 countries, that's countries representing 98% of the global economy, are all in a race.
And what are they all racing to build? Well, it's pretty much the next step in how we think about money. Every single one of them is trying to create a digital currency for the modern age, one that's backed by their own central bank. You'll hear it called a CBDC.
And in this massive global sprint, India isn't just running, it's actually one of the frontrunners. Seriously, how this experiment plays out could literally write the rulebook for everybody else. So let's get into it. Let's break down exactly what this digital rupee, or eRupee, is all about. Okay, so first things first. Fundamentally, what is this new kind of money?
The absolute simplest way to wrap your head around it is to just ask one question. What if the actual cash in your wallet, the paper notes, the coins, what if all of that could exist in a purely digital form?
And that's pretty much it. That's the eRupee in a nutshell. It is a digital currency, and the key part is that it's issued directly by India's central bank, the RBI. So no, this is not some private crypto. This is the rupee, just in a digital version. It's legal tender with the exact same value as a physical banknote you'd hold in your hand.
Now, you might think they just, flip a switch and launch this thing for everyone all at once. But nope. The RBI is being super strategic about this. They're testing the waters with two very different pilot programs.
So on one side, you've got the eRupee R. The R is for retail. This is the one for all of us, for everyday folks buying coffee, groceries, you name it. And on the other side, you have the eRupee W for wholesale. This one's for the big fish, like banks, to settle huge amounts of money between themselves. This whole thing kicked off in late 2022, and you can really see the strategy here. They started with the wholesale pilot for the banks on November 1st. Then, once they saw that was running smoothly, they launched the retail pilot for the rest of us exactly 1 month later. It's a very careful, step-by-step rollout. So how's that retail pilot doing? Well, the numbers are pretty impressive, actually. In a really short amount of time, they've already gotten more than 6 million people to try it out. And of course, having users is only half the battle, right? You need places to actually spend it. And already over 420,000 merchants are set up and ready to accept digital rupee payments.
And this is where it gets really interesting. When you look at how people are using it, this fascinating pattern pops up. Just like with physical cash, the 500 rupee denomination is the undisputed king. It makes up most of the value out there. It's just a perfect sign that our habits with physical money are carrying right over into the digital world.
All right, this brings us to the big one, the question on everyone's mind in India. How on earth is this any different from UPI? The payment system that has completely taken over the country.
And look, it's a totally fair question, because when you scan a QR code to pay, the experience feels exactly the same. But trust me, what's happening under the hood, they are worlds apart. Okay, here's the absolute crucial difference. UPI is a payment platform. Think of it like a messenger that just tells your bank, hey, send this money to that other bank. The eRupee, though, is the money itself. It's a digital token. It's a direct liability of the central bank, just like a physical banknote is. What that means is, once that eRupee is in your digital wallet, you don't actually need a bank to be in the middle of a transaction. It could be more private, kind of like cash. And it is legal tender, while UPI just moves legal tender around. But the differences go even deeper than that. The digital rupee is being built with some really unique features that could make it totally different from any other way to pay in India. You could almost think of them as its two superpowers. First, it's being designed to work even when you're offline. And second is this really cool concept called programmability. Now, this second superpower, programmability, this is where things get a little bit futuristic, but it's incredibly powerful. Essentially, the central bank could program money with specific rules. So imagine the government sends a subsidy to a farmer that can only be spent on things like seeds or fertilizer. Or think about a company giving you a meal allowance that just disappears if you don't use it by the end of the month. It's a way to guarantee that money is used exactly for its intended purpose. So as you can see, the potential here is just massive. But, trying to create a whole new form of money, well, it comes with some incredible promises, but also some huge, huge challenges. Let's talk about the good stuff first.
The biggest win, potentially, is financial inclusion. The fact that it can work offline means it could reach rural areas where internet is spotty at best. And with programmability, government benefits could go straight to the person who needs them. No middlemen, no leakage, no fraud.
Okay, so that's the dream, that's the vision. But can they actually pull it off? Because turning that vision into reality means getting over some seriously big hurdles. And hurdle number one, the big one, is UPI itself. It's just so dominant, it's so easy to use, that people need a really good reason to switch. Then you have this giant question of privacy. How do you create something that works like digital cash without also creating a tool for mass surveillance? And finally, there's the question of demand. Right now, a lot of the growth is coming from banks offering incentives, not from people organically choosing to use it.
So, when you put all of this together, the good, the bad, the challenges, what does the road ahead for this grand experiment really look like? Well, India's taking it slow, learning as much as it can from these pilot programs before it makes any huge decisions. But you can bet the rest of the world is watching. They're watching very closely. Because the answers India finds for these tough questions on privacy, on adoption, on security, those answers could very well become the blueprint for the future of money for billions of people all over the globe.